This conference will now be recorded.
Hey, everybody, this is Dr. Doug Smith. This is our Monday through Thursday podcast. Apologies, we're a few minutes late getting started today, but those things happen sometimes. As we were talking yesterday, today we were going to compare two images, two graphics, and you see them right there in front of you on the screen, the one on top and the one on bottom. Now, the graphic on top is what we looked at yesterday, okay? That is from the American Society of Addiction Medicine. They are the 800-pound gorillas, okay? They are the big boys, okay? ASAM, American Society of Addiction Medicine, okay? If you want to know who has labeled you as a drug addict, okay, it's those guys, ASAM, American Society of Addiction Medicine. And the American Society of Addiction Medicine, they're the ones behind this big dopamine theory of addiction, okay, otherwise known as the brain disease model of addiction. And what the dog food that they're pushing, and it is dog food, it's Kool-Aid, okay? The dog food that they're pushing is that everything that's addictive flows through the same channel in the brain. Doesn't matter what it is, okay? Doesn't matter if it's chocolate, doesn't matter if it's opioids, doesn't matter if it's gambling. It's according to them, it's all going through this area of the brain that they call the reward center. And if something causes a surge in dopamine in your brain, well, that's what addiction is. It's that surge in dopamine, and that surge in dopamine in your brain is so incredible. So it's just nirvana. It's just heaven, and it hijacks your brain circuits, and now you're basically just a zombie wandering around chasing that high. Okay, you want that hit of cocaine again, you want that hit of crystal meth, you want that hit of opioids, you want that hit of chocolate, you want that hit of gambling, okay, because according to them, your brain circuits have been hijacked by this surge in dopamine. So everything in their theory hinges on this surge in dopamine. Their entire theory hinges on this surge in dopamine. They don't have a plan B. This is it. The surge in dopamine, that's it. Okay? And so what you see on top there, okay, this is from a class all the physicians were required to take in 2019. Okay, this is how they brainwash you. They require you to listen to this dog food. This is from a class that all the physicians were required to take in 2019 by ASAM, American Society of Addiction Medicine. And when you take your time, and what you can see there is they're claiming that all four of those substances caused a surge in dopamine in the brain. Okay, they're claiming that the amphetamines, the cocaine, the nicotine, and the morphine all caused a surge in dopamine in the brain. And that's what those graphs are showing, that when they gave the amphetamine, they got a surge in dopamine. That when they gave the cocaine, they got a surge in dopamine. When they gave the nicotine, they got a surge in dopamine. When they gave the morphine, they got a surge in dopamine. But what I want you to draw your attention to is at the very bottom there. Look at the date, 1988. Okay, a lot of y'all weren't even around then. You weren't even a twinkle in your parents' eyes. Okay, 1988. Okay, 1988, Ronald Reagan was president. Okay, so this publication that you're looking at there is from 2019, and they're citing a medical scientific study from 1988. Okay, does that mean there weren't any scientific studies done after 1988 about opioids and brain dopamine? No, that's not what it means at all. There were scientific studies done after 1988. That's one of them on the bottom there. Okay, problem is all the follow-up, all the later studies, all the studies using vastly superior technology showed no surge in brain dopamine in response to the opioids. Their theory fell apart. Okay, their theory failed to prove. Okay, now in the book that I'm writing, we talk a lot about how the psychiatrists, they just flat out are not scientific. And here you're seeing exactly what we're talking about. Okay, they're giving us 1988 data. And by the way, this is a study from Italy in 1988. Don't know if anybody out there has ever driven a Fiat, but this is a study from Italy, 1988. Okay, where what they did was they held a mouse really still and drilled a little hole in its skull and stuck a little glass tube in. And then once the tube was in the right place, they glued it in place. Can't imagine what could possibly go wrong drilling holes in the skulls of mice and gluing little glass tubes. Whereas the study on bottom there, that's using the PET scan, positron emission tomography. That's the gold standard, still is today. So the old technology, they claim to see a little tiny surge in dopamine, but the new technology, nope, sorry, no surge in dopamine. But they're not telling you about the later studies. And in the scientific community, that's called dishonesty. They're not telling you about the later studies. They're not even telling you that they exist. If I wasn't sitting here telling you this right now, you would not know that they even exist. That's dishonest. That's not how science is done. That's not how medicine is done. That is dishonest. What they are doing is being dishonest. Okay? They're lying to me. They want me to believe that this is real and this is valid science. And yet, when you look at it, no, it falls apart. Okay, this is why in the book we talk about that the psychiatrists are not scientific. Okay, they're manipulating here. You know, in science, you give all the studies. Okay, and it's the later studies are the ones that take the priority. Okay, it's the later studies that take the priority, the ones that typically use a better technique, a better technology. So what you're looking at here, this is called fraud. This is called dishonesty. Okay, this is fraud. This is dishonesty. This is not how valid science is done. And this is not how valid medicine is done. This is fraud. And I want you to look at it, and I want you to see it, and I want you to understand it. Okay, because they've been lying to you. They lied to me too. Okay, they lied to me too. They've been lying to us. And we're catching them on it. Okay, so if there's no surge in dopamine in your brain when you take an opioid, then there's no such thing as opioid addiction. Okay, that's why they're lying here. That's why they're committing fraud. Okay, because this means there is no such thing as opioid addiction. So let's hold here. We'll look at another study tomorrow. By the way, the one on the bottom there, that's from 2011. That's by Daglish. It's British. And we'll look at another study tomorrow done by Watson. And by the way, the 1988 study that they're citing in there as proof for opioid addiction, that was a rat study. Okay, the Daglish and Watson studies that we're looking at today and tomorrow, those are studies done with humans using a vastly superior technique of PET scans, positron emission tomography. Don't get caught up in the science. Don't get hung up in the science. Okay, but the more modern science did not show a surge in brain dopamine when opioids were given. That shatters the concept of the dopamine theory of addiction, the brain disease model of addiction. And yet, go to Google, you go anywhere, and they talk about how opioids cause a surge in brain dopamine. It's all over the internet. Okay, that's how you're being lied to. All right, let's hold here for today. Everybody, we'll be back tomorrow. Everybody have a great afternoon. Don't forget to like and subscribe to us. Don't forget to post this on your social media and everybody else's social media. Have a great night, and we'll see everybody tomorrow. Thanks. Bye-bye.